My goodness, we are in week 13, and let me tell you something, nothing's been decided. There's so many things in the works. I've been out here calculating and crunching numbers and trying to figure out which way is going who and who's got what and who's doing who. Just trying to get a handle on what the playoff scenarios are. I think I finally got it all figured out with all my formulas and all my computing power here, and I'm going to take you through those. We're going to do something a little bit different this week. Nobody gives a shit about my picks because my picks are terrible. We can all agree. I don't do a good job on them. I'm going to rip through the games real quick, one by one, give a couple brief thoughts on them, move on to the next one, haven't prepped a damn thing. We're going to do it off the cuff. So with that said, right to the first game, swipe me. First game we're going to talk about, Fuck You Pay Me. Going up against This Is My White Mare. Name change hasn't worked out well for him, but who gives a shit? Moving on, in front of me right now, I got... let's see, This Is My White Mare's favored by, looks like about 17 or so. Pretty big favorite in that one. All-time record, Moto versus Turo. Turo holds the Turo holds the all-time record, 2-1, so pretty even there. This game, looking at the two teams real quick, you know, I just like Turo's team better. I mean, Rawls hasn't been very good for him. He's starting some new. Malcolm Mitchell. Okay. Knock yourself out there, Moto. So anyway, I'm picking Turo on this one pretty easily. All right, next game, swipe. Second game up, Reading Dwayne Bowe going up to Jared's Creech. Don't really understand the reference, but I appreciate the effort. The line on this one, Reader, huge favorite. What is that? 30, almost damn near 30 points. All-time record. Reader versus Scott. I got Reader beating Scott 4-2 in the all-time record. I mean, I'll pull up the roster real quick for shits and giggles, but literally, you look at the preview up and down the roster, Reader has a better player at every single position. You very rarely see that. For that reason, Reader gets the win. Simple, easy peasy. Swipe me to the game number 3. Game number 3. We got the Chalupa Batman. They're going up against the GOAT. You know? This is actually a pretty big game because this has keg-watch implications. We'll get to that in a second. However, looking at the rosters, more even than anything, looks like Chalupa Batman's going to put up a little bit of a fight. He's down by about 4 points. It's going to be a pretty even matchup. One of the most even matchups we have this week. All-time record, Bill versus Joel. Bill losing to Joel. Joel, 3 wins to 2 over Bill. All-time record in this matchup. Tough to pick. You know what? I'm going to pick Joel. I think Joel wins this matchup to put Bill. He needs to win here to stay off K-Watch, but I think Joel gets this matchup, so let's go on to the next swipe. Next game, K-Bo Ghost going to J-Rod the Bod Limbach. The line in this one, Limbach putting up a little bit of a fight, but K-Bo Ghost, so fucking big. Tons and tons of points put on the board in this one. Favorites K-Bo Ghost almost by goddamn 20 points in this one. All-time record. Let's check this out. This ought to be comical. Oh, 6-0. Maine has never lost to J-Rod. 6-0 all-time. About to make it 7-0. Let's look. I guess we'll look at the people. Oh, okay. Oh, look. Antonio Brown. Ooh, oh my God. Oh, James Starks. Oh my God. He's fucking Reed. Is he hurt? Brendan Marshall. Oh, ooh, shaking my boots. Fuck that shit. K-Bo Ghost wins easy. 20 plus points. Next game. The 5th game. Revenge of the Scurv. Traveling to the Battalion Squad. This is actually a sneaky good matchup. 6-6. You know, the funny part about this is both teams are basically already locked in, so this game really means nothing. It's one of the few games that means absolutely nothing this week. However, I'll still take a look at it. Minot has the lines, favored by about 7 points. Looking at the players, pretty even matchup. I don't really like any more than the other. All-time record. Minot, Vid, 3-4. Minot's losing to Vid. Vid holds the all-time record, 4 wins to 3. I'm going to pick Minot on this one just because I like to see that even all-time record. 4-4 equals 8. I don't know what that means. Last game. I love this game. It's maybe the first time it's ever happened. I don't remember because my short-term memory is shot to shit. But this game is both the Cake-Watch game of the week and the Gut Dub game of the week. I, of course, am talking about the Buddy Van Doodles going up against Return of the Sharknado. 2 teams tied in the bottom of the standings. This is a great one. This is basically win and you're off Cake-Watch, lose and shit could get crazy for you. I love this matchup. It's a pretty even matchup, actually. Buddy Van Duel's actually favored for the first time. Oh, no, they're not. I take that back. They're not favored. It's actually pretty even, though. I mean, these point totals and projections are ridiculous. Return the Sharknado is favored, and he's projected to score 81, less than 82 points. This fucking game. Anyway, it's gonna be a garbage bowl. It's gonna be a stink fest. I'm gonna be curious to see what happens. All-time record for what it's worth, dead and even, 3-3. I'm telling you, this matchup doesn't get any more even than this. Flip a coin in this one. Who is gonna win? You know what? I'm gonna pick. Oh boy, I'm gonna pick Robbie. I'm gonna pick Robbie. He's got Gore going on Monday night. I think that might be the difference. I think he's got Gore going on Monday night. I think he might get it done. I'm gonna pick Rob to win this one. And now, let's get on to the playoff preview. Whew! All right, part one of the playoff preview. I'm gonna focus first on the top 4 teams. There's really only 3 teams in this entire fucking current standings that don't have shit to play for. That, of course, is Minot and Vit and Moto. Minot and Vit are locked into playoffs. Who gives a shit if you're 5 or 6 seed? It really doesn't matter because you don't know who you're going to be playing on the top end. On the flip side, you got Moto, who is mathematically eliminated from playoffs and also mathematically eliminated from Cake Watch. He literally has nothing to play for. He should shut off the preview now because he's a fucking loser. Better luck next in August. Maybe we'll have a cabin to go to. Maybe we won't. We'll get to that update as well later. So, to get to the top 4 buys. We have Joel, we have Maine, we have Turo, and we have Rogers. And the 4 of them are going to basically be battling for 2 buys. And that's going to be an important buy. It means that's one less game to play on your way to the money. So I like that. Basically, if you get this buy, you've only got to win 1 or 2 games and you're guaranteed some cash. That's not a bad deal. So anyway, pull up the graphic I started. Graphic department, pull that up. Okay, thank you. Now, what I want you to look at this graphic here is basically on the top left there, I've got the game outcomes. You can see Joel plays Bill, Turo plays Moto, Maine plays J-Rod, Rogers plays Scott. And I've gone down, there's basically 16 possible combinations, and I've flushed those all out. You can see who's winning what. So basically scenario 1 down through 16. Coming across to the right side, if these games play out where, like, for the top line, Joel, Turo, Maine, and Rogers all win, this is how the seeds work out on the right side. You can see that basically nothing changes, obviously, if everybody gets the W. However, things get a little interesting here as you move down if Joel is to lose, because Joel doesn't hold many tiebreakers against anybody else. Now, I'm going to pop up another graphic here, I think. I might have to, but anyway, the tiebreakers, pop up that graphic on the tiebreakers real quick. Okay, now here you can see on the tiebreakers, you got Joel holds tiebreakers over Maine and Turo, but not Rogers. Rogers holds tiebreakers over Joel and Turo, but not Maine. It's an absolute clusterfuck. So, but take this away for a second. Back here, okay. Now, here's how tiebreakers work, just because I know there's been a lot of confusion about it. So basically, if you have more than 2 teams tied, say you got 3 teams tied, the way it works is it basically looks at the 3 teams or more to see if anybody holds a tiebreaker over everybody else. So if, say if all 4 of our guys were tied and Rogers had beaten all 4 of us, Rogers would obviously get, or all 3 of us, Rogers would get the top seed because he had not lost to any of the 3 teams he's tied with. Now, after that takes effect, it goes to the next 3 teams, and then the same tiebreaker head-to-head record is looked at for those 3 teams. Now, if it goes to those next blanket 3 teams, and say Team A has beat B, and B has beat C, and C has beat A, so nobody has an advantage in the head-to-head, then it goes to points 4. And so that's how the tiebreaker works. It first looks at head-to-head, eliminates the best team, puts them at the top, and then goes to the next bank and keeps working down that way until it's all decided. So say that Team 3, after Rogers was at the top, next team with the highest points scored gets the 2nd seed, and then between the last 2 teams, or less teams there, then it would go back to head-to-head if possible. It always just kind of does that calculation as it seeds the teams down. So, back to the graphic. You can see on the right-hand side here is basically all the different outcomes. The red boxes are where the outcomes could change depending on the number of points scored. I have seeded this according to who currently holds the advantage in points scored. So about like game 7 there, right above where Joel wins and Rogers wins, you can see I currently have Rogers getting the bye because he has a 20.7 point lead on Maine. And so if he maintains that lead, then you get the 2 seed, then followed by Turo, because Turo holds the tiebreaker over Maine, and then Maine coming in at last place at the 4th seed there. Now, if Maine was able to make up the 20.7 points there, then Maine would get the 2 seed, and then would go to a tiebreak between Rogers and Turo, where Rogers would now be the 3 seed, and Turo would be the 4 seed. So the red boxes, there's a lot to be determined in the red boxes. So as you flush down here, you can see all the different options. The real crazy scenario is if the top 3, Joel, Turo, and Maine all lose, and Rogers wins, and the points 4 stays the same. You can see that next bottom line, Rogers gets the 1 seed, Joel gets the 2 seed, then followed by Turo 3 and Maine 4. What does this mean? Look down below that, and I basically just summed up what the percentage options are of people following these different seeds. You can see obviously Joel has a 50, 60, like a 75% chance of getting the bye, getting a 1 or 2 seed. Turo has right around a 50, 63% chance. Maine has a 38% chance, and Rogers has a 25% chance of getting that bye. Pretty crazy, lots to be decided. We're going to see what happens, but basically here is how that all flushes out for the top 2 seeds. Now, all that said, there's only like 4 ways Rogers can get the bye as a 1 or a 2 seed. It's going to be very interesting to see. Those points 4 may come into consideration in 3 of those scenarios, so keep an eye on those matchups. But now, really, I know we've all been waiting for this. You want to see a clusterfuck? Let's get into the keg watch and take a look at what that looks like. You want to see some crazy shit? Crazy shit is 5 teams being tied at the bottom of the standings heading into the last week. That is some crazy shit. Alright, so the first thing I want to show you before anything else is I'm going to pull up the tie breaks. Who holds what tie breaks? So go ahead and pull that graphic up. Alright, now on this graphic, it's basically just, you can see rows versus columns. So, for example, Rob, with a game to play, which could be important, but with a game to play, Rob currently holds a tiebreak over Wingus, 1-0. He holds a tiebreak over J-Rod, 1-0. Bill has beat him, and Scott has beat him. So, quickly scanning down through this, the person who is in the best position on the tiebreak side is Wingus right now. I know he's down 0-1 to Rob, but he holds tiebreaks over J-Rod, Bill, even with Scott. So if he can even up with Rob, obviously he wins, he's off, but still, even if he loses, there's a lot of scenarios where he's sitting pretty good. So keep this in mind. I know it's going to be hard to reference, but keep this in mind. Bring up the next graphic. All right, now here is the money graphic. Here is where you can see, again, same as we before, there's basically 4 games that matter for these 5 teams because 2 of the teams are playing each other. Rob Wingus, J-Rod Maine, Bill Joel, Scott Rogers. You can see I've got it highlighted who wins and who loses for the different 16 different scenarios, and then across on the right-hand side are who gets what seed. Now, the interesting thing about this is there's only a few scenarios where points 4 actually come into play in terms of determining the keg, and that's who finishes in 12th place. There's only 1, 2, there's 4, so you got a 25% chance that points scored comes into play for the keg. Now, I'll spare you the details, we don't have to talk through all these different options and everything, but basically, if there's a bunch of people tying, you can see it's going to be real interesting on the right-hand side in terms of who is going to be buying the keg. And surprisingly, only, what do we got for, I'll show you the percentages down to the left of the percentages, who finishes in 12th. Right now, Scott has a 31% chance to finish in 12th, assuming all the points 4 stay the same as they are now. Rob has a 25% chance, surprisingly, even though he holds a lot of the tie breaks. Things could go very poorly for him if he loses to Wingus. Bill comes in at 3rd place with 19%, and the Wingus and J-Rod actually are sitting pretty safe. They only have about, they each have 2 scenarios where they could be buying the keg, pending the points 4 debacle, but they have 2 scenarios where they could be buying the keg out of the 16, so they're actually not doing too bad there. So, I don't know if I really want to talk through any of these because it's going to be pretty interesting. I will have these available if anybody would like to see these. I'll put them up on Google Drive or something. But this is basically the different scenarios of what could happen. It's pretty crazy. Scott, I think Scott's going to be okay. Even if he loses, he's got a pretty good, he's got a huge points for differential, but the problem with Scott is he doesn't hold any of the tiebreakers, so he really needs to go to points to have any shot. I don't know. Actually, I take that back. Scott's pretty screwed. However, basically the big takeaway from this is everything's still up in the air. Nobody's safe. There's scenarios where everybody could be in trouble. So, yeah, it's gonna be pretty friggin' interesting. It's gonna be pretty friggin' interesting, you know. So anyway, I love looking at that shit. Anyway, get the graphic out here. This is where we're at right now. This is where we're at. Only 3 teams aren't playing for shit. Everybody else is playing for a fuckload of stuff. Whew. I'm excited to see what happens. So, with that said, it's been a great regular season. I'm looking forward to playoffs, as I know 5 other teams other than myself are. Everybody else, this is it. You know, this is it. Scoreboard watch. Just keep an eye on it. Maybe as the scores start rolling in, as people start looking one way or the other, I'll start updating the thing, give you some live updates about who might have a chance at the keg. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. I kind of expected around the scenarios it'd be like one person. There was like no way that they couldn't buy it or anything like that. But I mean, everybody's got a pretty. I mean, the spread is 31%, 25%, 19, 13, 30. I mean, everybody's got a hat in the ring on this one, so it's going to be pretty interesting. So, anyway, thanks for a great year. Thanks for watching. Look forward to the playoff previews. Stay right here, and I will see you for round 1 of the playoffs. Morano out.